He's back. Shooting Polaroid. I've been thinking that.
No. Allow me to elaborate. Here's a really good summary. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. We are so back. It's so over.
Ooh.
There's been some big Polaroid happenings in the last couple weeks. Their new black and white chemistry and Polacon. Now, I've been off the Polaroid train since December of 2022.
Until they genuinely say, here's iType V2, new formula, it's improved.
Man, this guy is good at yapping, holy shit. But my precious little eggies, I am a man of my word. It's time to go test out the new Polaroid black and white chemistry. So with that in mind, off to Polacon I went. And I had a special side quest. Meet Chris in the flesh. Well, that was easy.
That guy right there, wow.
Let's not bury the lead here. The new black and white Polaroid film. It is simply beautiful. The sharpness, the contrast, it's all beautiful. I can't even count the amount of times at the event where my friends and I would pull out one of the new black and white monochrome frames, look at the Polaroid, and like audibly gasp.
That was insane. He's back.
Don't spread fake news.
But let's also keep in mind that this was a super controlled environment with Polaroid present. Obviously, they're going to take steps to make sure everything is as optimal as humanly possible. They had a setup with a backdrop, studio light, and an i2 with the new black and white film locked and loaded. So I'm not trying to be a little shit here, but if the film didn't work in this environment, whew, that'd be a big problem. And look what else was set up. Very delicately on the floor. I shot this photo of Chris on that setup, and that was literally the first time I've even touched the i2. The i2 was on auto. I let it do all the thinking for me. I just composed and took the shot, and I did that because I didn't really know how to use the camera. Plus, there was a room full of people waiting to shoot, and I kind of felt like an asshole taking much longer. Chris shot this one of me on the i2 as well. And a little later on, Ribsy took this photo of me on a different backdrop with his i2. Thanks, fellas. It's probably more portraits of me taken in this single day than in the last couple of years. But yeah, honestly, I can't lie. I've talked a lot of shit about Polaroid. I am blown away by the new film. It almost looks like Instax monochrome. And I gotta tell you, comments like that are exactly why Polaroid didn't hook me up with a few packs while I was there. Your boy is in Polaroid jail. More than one person described my previous Polaroid videos as controversial. So not to toot my own horn here, but I think Polaroid has a Sweet Lou Bounty poster in the back. I also had my Now Plus with me. I loaded it up with some 600 film round frames, and the production date on that pack was March 2023. So technically these were past expiration. Remember, you get a year from that production date that's on the pack. That considered, I was content with the results. They were imperfect, but you know, it's Polaroid. I just used this roll indoors and shot people against the backdrops they had set up with the studio light. The first shot I took was of Ribsy, and it was really cool to meet him in person. The photo was scuffed because of the roller marks. It's kind of hard to see in the scan, but it was definitely there in person. I also shot this without the flash, and after the way this one came out, I decided to shoot the rest with the flash. Ribsy is absolutely my favorite from the day. The posing was all his idea, but I love this shot so much. The Now Plus definitely muted a little oddly on some of these frames and decided, hey, I'm gonna use a shutter speed slower than the way King Zora moves in Ocarina of Time. You can especially see it in this shot of Kyle. I'm sure the camera saw the shadows on the right side of the frame and, you know, it just decided to slow down. But it is odd because I was using the flash too. I don't know, bro. The Now Plus is... It's funny. It's funny that way. Let's leave it at that.
What do you mean funny? Funny how? How am I funny?
One thing I noticed about this entire pack was it looks like the chemistry pods were separating a little bit because there's uneven development. You can kind of see the strips in some of the photos. Especially on Chris's shot here, you can see those little blue dots scattered throughout the frame. At one point in the day, Chris, Ribsy, and I were talking about how the photos were all coming out reasonably well. And me, being the eternal pessimist I am, said, yeah, but I wonder what's gonna happen when it gets warmer out. I picked up another pack of 600 film round frames from the event. The production date on this pack was March 2024, so it was not expired. On the contrary, this film was actually very fresh, very farm to table. This pack was an improvement on the last for sure. The film was developing evenly, which is what I like to see. But after that first frame, things took a turn. I shot this bus outside of the event, and of course the Now Plus metered like to infinity. I don't know why. It was all fucky, and the shot turned out nuclear. And let me tell you, that was not bussin'. Then I went to a bar and I shot this portrait with the flash, and wouldn't you know, it's pitch black. It's not like I was across the room either. There was a table in between us. It couldn't have been more than 6 feet away. I didn't feel great about it. That was all I shot in Brooklyn. I took the Polaroid with me to Mystic, Connecticut the next day, and I shot a bunch outdoors. I really liked this red door shot, but given the cloudy conditions, the colors just didn't really pop. That's not necessarily the film's fault though. There's this really cool anime store with this giant Totoro outside, and I had to shoot that, and the first one was super overexposed, so I came back and wasted a second frame on it. I just underexposed it. It helped a little, I guess. Finally, I needed to do one last test for science. Just a few minutes ago, I said, yeah, but I wonder what's gonna happen when it gets warmer out. It got warmer out. It jumped up between 86 and 90 degrees over here. That's this much in Celsius for my friends across the pond. Chris very generously gave me a pack of 600 film with a production date of March 2024. So again, very fresh, very farm, very table. He actually won a few packs directly from Polaroid. Would there be a better source than from Polaroid themselves? I don't think so. And as we know, Polaroids develop the best between 55 and 82 degrees Fahrenheit. Very specific. So we're a little bit above that threshold. Perfect. We are no longer in a controlled environment. And the results, well, oh boy, that's the Polaroid I know. Even setting the camera to underexpose did not help. Honestly, I can barely tell which photo's which. It is a shame, because when I shot the new black and white film, I said, we are so back. Chris got really excited about it, but deep down, I knew it's so over. In fact, I don't think it's ever been this over before. I am indeed hype about the new black and white chemistry, don't get me wrong. So hype, in fact, that I bought a couple of packs directly from Polaroid's website. I think it's better that way anyway, the whole not sponsored thing on the channel. Not that it really would have stopped me from talking shit if Polaroid did give me a pack anyway, because I'm honest like that. I can't wait to see how this film performs in the real world. Stay tuned for that video. I'm hoping to test it out and have it up within the next few weeks. But this color film experience did not get me back on the Polaroid train. I've heard rumblings about a new Polaroid color film chemistry on the horizon, and I see they updated their packaging about protecting the film from X-rays and heat. I wonder why they had to do such a thing to their packaging. Until they put out that new color film chemistry, I'm sorry to say, I'm just not gonna be shooting the color. Here's the reality. Some of my best performing videos ever are about Polaroid. It would greatly benefit me to get this camera and pump out a bunch of videos on it. It would get me a bunch of views and a bunch of money. I'm sorry, but I don't think things have changed enough to get me back on the Polaroid train. What's that, Mr. Polaroid? It sounds like Mr. Polaroid is asking if they could perfect the consistency of their film before releasing Bluetooth speakers. Mr. Polaroid, that is so rude and not supportive. In you go. Oh, fuck, I actually dropped it into the toilet. Damn it, dude.
Like and subscribe. Sweet Lou Photography. Dumb man.